Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So the verse up there is from chapter 7, very famous verse, right? Everybody knows it. I'd like to chant all the chapter. Does everybody have a... can do in English, I guess. I'll read the Sanskrit, you can repeat, then one by one different people read the translation. Okay? This chapter, verse 1 of this chapter, Prabhupada gave many, many Bhagavad Gita lectures. This chapter, this verse, is the one he gave more lectures than any other verse. First verse of chapter 7. So it must be important. Chapter 7 is the first chapter of the it's the first chapter of the Bhakti section.
Recording in progress.
Bhagavad Gita is in 3 sections. The middle 6 are about Bhakti, especially about Bhakti. Bhakti is always there, but some places it's not stressed as the absolutely most important thing. Maya sakta manaparta yogam yunjan maya shitaha. Better look it up just 1 minute. Maya sakta manaparta yogam yunjanmadashraya samsayama samagramam yatajasya sitashrinu. Somebody read the translation? You can pick who does it, just go around.
I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
Okay. Jnanam teham savijnanam. Text 2. Idam vakshyam yasheshataha yad gatva neha bhuyo gatavyam avishishyate. Someone else? No, read the translation.
I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, but phenomenal and anomalous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatpataha.
Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
And that comes to life when we try to stop people from showing them books. Right? Okay, text 4. Bhumirapo nalovayu Tamano Buddha eva cha Ahankara iti yame Vina prakritir ashtada.
Earth, fire, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energy.
Very good. Apareyamitaskanyam Prakritim vidime param Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yayedam Dayate Jagat.
Besides this, O mighty owned Arjuna, there is another spiral energy of mine, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resource of this material in pure nature.
Etat yomini bhutani Sarvamityupaparaya Aham Kritsnasya Jagata Prabhava Pralayastata.
All created beings have their source in these 2 natures, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution.
Rasoham apsukonteya
Rasoham apsukonteya
Prabhasi shasi surya
Kinchit asti
Pranavak sarva vedeshu
sarva vedeshu
Shabdike purusham nishu.
O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable form in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound and ether and ability and mind.
Yeah. Punyo ganda pratibhyam cha Tejas chasmi vibhavaso Jivanam sarva bhuteshu Tapaschasmi tapasvishu.
I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all aesthetics.
Bijamam sarva bhutanam Vidiparta sanatanam Buddhir buddhimatamasmi Tejas tejas vinam aham.
O son of Brita, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men.
Balam balavatam chaham kama raja vibhavasa dharma virudo bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava.
I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principle or laws of the Bharata Arjuna.
Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasascha ye mata eveti tan vidi natvaham teshvavasti sa.
Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me.
Jibir Gunamayir Bhavai Ebi Sarvam Idam Jagat Mohitam Nabi Janati Mam Ebya Param Avyayam.
Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes of inexhaustible.
Daiviyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Mayametam Tarantite.
This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Extract. Namam Duskritino Muda Prapajante Naradamaha Maya Prahita Jnana Asuram Bhavam Ashrita.
Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the artistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me.
Chaturveda Bhajanti Mam Jana Sukritunarjuna Arto Jigyasarartarti Gyanicha Bharatarshava.
O best, among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute.
Tesham Gyani Nityayukta Eka Bhaktir Vashishyate Priyo Gyani No Chartam Aham Satcha Mama Priya.
Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is very dear to me.
Udara sarva evaite Gyani twatma bhamemitam Astita sahi yuktatma Mam evan uttamam gatim.
All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like mine own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal.
Bhavanam jamanamante
Bahunam janmanamante
Gyanavam mam prapadyate Vasudeve sarvamiti
Vasudeva sarvamiti
Samahatma sadurlava.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare.
Kamaistaita rittagana Yeah, Prapadyante Devata Tam Tam Niyamamastaya Prakritya Niyata Swaya.
Those who have intelligence has been stolen by material desires, surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures.
Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta Shadaya chitamechati Tasya tasya chalam shadam Tameva vedadamyaham.
I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his face steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
Satya Shadaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanamiyate Labhate Cha Tatakamam Maya Bhavitanitam.
Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone.
Antavatu palam tesham Tadvat vat yalpamedasam Devan devaya joyanti Madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Somebody can read.
Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Avyaktam vyaktam apana Manyate mam abudaya Param bhavam ajanato Mam abhyayam anutamam.
Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
Naham prakasa sarvasya
Naham prakasha sarvasya
Yogamaya samabraha
Yogamaya samavruta
Mudoyam nabhijanati
Mudoyam nabhijanati
Loko mam ajam avyayam
Loko mam ajam avyayam.
I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered my internal potential, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible.
Vedaham samatitani
Vedaham samatitani
Vartamanani charjuna
Vartamanani charjuna
Bhavishyani cha bhutani
Bhavishyani cha bhutani
Mam tu veda nakaschana
Mam veda kashana.
O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows.
Icha dvesa samutvena
Ichadvesa samutena
Dvanda mohena bharata
Vanda mohena bharata
Sarva bhuta samohan Sarge yanti parantapa O sign of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities, arisen from desire and hate. Yesham tvantagatam papam
Yesham svantagatam papam
janana punya karmanam
Jananam punya karmanam
te dvanda moha nirmukta
Te dvanda moha nirmukta
bhajanti mam vridavrata.
Bhajanti mam vidavata.
Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful reactions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. What happened? Anyway, 2 more verses. Jara marana mokshaya
Jara marana mokshaya
mam asvichaya tantiye
Mam asvityaya tantiye
te brahma tadvidu kritsnam
Te brahmata vidu krishnam
adhyatma karma chapilam.
Adhyatma karma chakilam.
Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahma because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities.
Sadhure sarva bhutadi daiva mam
Sadi bhutadi daivam
sari yagya chaye vidu
Sadi yadam chaye viduhu
prayana kali pichamam
Prayana kale pichamam
te vidur yukta chetasam.
Te vidur yukta chetasam.
Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation, of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death.
Okay, text 4 was supposed to be the one for today. It's a great chapter. It doesn't take very long to read the whole chapter like that. Recommended, because everything is in this chapter. Everything is in every chapter. But this one really stresses on Krishna as a person. So, Bhumirapo Analuvayo. Kam mano buddhir evacha. Ahankara iti yame. Bina prakriti ashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord, in his different Purusha incarnations, expansions, as described in the Satvata Tantra. Vishnos tu Trini Rupani Purusakyan Yato Vidu Ekam tu Mahata Shasti Dvitiyam Twanda Samstitam Dvitiyam Sarva Bhutastam Tani Gatva Vimuchate. For material creation, Lord Krishna's primary expansion assumes 3 Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Chirodakashayi Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading Supersoul in all the universes and is known as Param Atma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these 3 Vishnus can be liberated from material entanglement. So that's a lot. It's covered a lot in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Most Hindus, I think, that from my experience, that they know Vishnu, maybe they know Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and they know they know the Super Soul. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is the Vishnu within the universe that grows out of the navel, the lotus flower of Vishnu. Mahavishnu is lying down, and from his pores all the universes are coming out. But they're just empty. The water, it's half water, but there's nothing happening. There's no diversities, it says here. Until he expands himself and enters this called Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Garbha means a womb. And then from that navel lotus flower, Brahma's on top, and within the stem is everything, all the planets and all the everything, and then Brahma's work is to put it all out. It's already there, so it's actually all done by Krishna. Balaram, we heard the other day, is the first expansion of Krishna, and then everything else is coming from Balaram. Krishna is not bothered. He's busy with his rasa dance and stuff. And Balaram's not bothered by it either, but he expands as a Chaturvyuha, and that's the Chaturvyuha, and then from there comes the Vaikuntha universes. Then there's another Chaturvyuha And from Sankarshan, again, there's Vasudeva, Pradyumna, and Sankarshan, expands the Mahavishnu. And then from him come all the material universes. And he expands within each one. And it says in all the universes, the super soul is there. So that's quite, something. And he knows, that way he knows everything, he's everywhere. So he knows everything about everybody, he knows everything. But he's the witness. There's examples given, the purports, that the two birds, one is running around trying to enjoy the tree and the other was just watching. Like sometimes you see parents take their kids to the playground, and the kids are just running around like crazy and the mothers just sit there, They watch, but they don't do anything. They're just watching to make sure nothing goes really wrong. But they want the kids to play, so Krishna lets us play. He brings us, he let us into the material universe because we didn't want to serve him. And he lets us play. Get all different kinds of bodies and go on all different kinds of levels of planets and, try to enjoy foolishly. Paramatma. For the devotee though, I was listening to a class yesterday and somebody asked about the Paramatma. Is he the same as the Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, or not a different Vishnu? But for devotees of Krishna, the Paramatma is Krishna. And for devotees of Lord Chaitanya, it's Lord Chaitanya. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he tells Arjuna, when someone knows that I and the super soul are the same, then that's knowledge. So the super soul is not something separate from Krishna. It's Krishna, but it's an expansion. But it is Krishna, so for devotees, they see Krishna in everyone's heart. They see Krishna in their heart also. Krishna, two-armed Krishna. So on with this purport. And this Bhumir Apo Analo Vayu, this is the basic elements. When I studied, I didn't study, but I took a class in 8th grade, physics. And the teacher, they showed the elemental chart they have now. How many? There's 100 and some elements, right? So ho. Before they thought there was only 8 or 5. They were so stupid. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. That's just the basic divisions. There's solids, a stone, all different kinds of stones, different kinds of gas, different kinds of liquid, right? They can divide it into those 5. And they're not even aware of the Kamano Buddha, the ether, and especially the mind and intelligence. They don't have that in their chart. But they think they know much more. And they don't know much about anything, really. So, but if we know these 3 Vishnus, you can be liberated from material entanglement. So it's something to be known. And that's in the material world, so it's different than the 4-armed forms that are in the Vaikuntha planets. It's the same but different. Next paragraph. This world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of the material world are directed by these 3 Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purushas are called incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities, and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, the atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of the material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonalist, is a spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha lokas. And the impersonalist accepts the Brahma Jyoti as the ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, all-pervasive aspect of the Chirodakashaya Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a complete energetic person, and he possesses different separated and internal energies. Okay? So clear, we can comment only by repeating it practically. Prabhupada uses this term, spiritual diversities. Diversities. That means individualities, differences. We have to recognize unity and diversity. And they also have a term, diversity and unity. There are many different kinds of people come to Krishna consciousness. When we go out to preach, there's so many different kinds of people, different languages here, right? But they're all spirit souls and they're all looking for Krishna. The one thing everyone has in common is that Krishna's in their heart. Otherwise, and that they want to eat, sleep, mate, and defend, obviously. By looking at the shops down there, definitely eating is very popular, right? I didn't see shops for defending so much, but decorating the body, that's part of mating. When the peacock wants to attract the female and he shows those fancy feathers, right? So, and he dances around. Same thing humans do. Get all dressed up, try to attract the other side. Or the same sex nowadays. But that's the propensity. Sleeping, and there must be another market somewhere where they're selling all beds, right? Isn't it? They have in Germany? Like in India, there'll be markets. So then when we're going on Rath Yatra or something, there'll just be like a couple blocks where there's nothing but beds, mattresses. We passed one in Delhi one year called the Ananda Mattress Shop. And the ad said, 8 hours of bliss. 8 hours of bliss. Ananda mattress. That's their idea of bliss, is to be sleeping, to be unconscious. And people nowadays, and Prabhupada mentions this, their minds are so disturbed they can't sleep. Body's also disturbed. So there's so many ads for, this will help you sleep. Some hotels on their television, they have a sleep yoga channel. Yoga to do so you can sleep better. And they advertise, our beds are the most good for, you can sleep better. In one place they did a survey, and they asked people if you had a choice between sex and a good night's sleep, which would you take? The majority of people said to sleep. Because they can't do anything else without good sleep. Can't digest food, can't think, can't balance, you can't function, can't remember anything. Sleep is very important. Sleep is also Maya, but we have to have enough sleep. We have to take care of the body. We were reading that in the morning a few days ago. It's very important to take care of your body. Sleep is one of the most important. Without good sleep, can't take care of anything else. So many accidents are because of people didn't sleep enough. People fall down and they walk into a wall, or they walk off the edge of the train platform. All kinds of things. So, next paragraph. In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8, as above mentioned. Out of these, the first 5, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are the 5 gigantic creations of the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. What are the 5 sense objects? We have 5 senses, right? What are they?
Hearing, smelling, seeing, touching.
Right.
And the 5th, tasting.
Yeah, tasting. So, what are the objects then? Sound.
Sound.
Something to look at. And something to touch. And I don't know if they still have, when I was in very young, junior high school or something, and they had 2 different in America, cream for your hair, for men, and both of them, the advertisement, they had some song, and it said, the girls will just chase after you and they'll all want to put their fingers in your hair. If you put this grease in your hair, the girls will all chase you and they'll all want to touch your hair. But we want to touch nice things, soft things. We want to smell nice things. So there's so many shops, perfume shops. And then nice things to look at. And what to speak of sound. You know, so many recorded sounds. Then there's material science, is only these things. Then there's the mind, intelligence, and false ego. They're neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are not perfect in knowledge because they don't know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am, and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. False ego, ahankar, I am this body. And there's a verse, a nice verse in the 2nd canto, that those who are in Maya, they always talk nonsense. Beginning with mamoham ahamameti, it is I and it is mine. This is, so I mentioned, it was I guess not here, but if you remember, ever heard of the Beatles, George Harrison, he had a song, I, Me, Mine, because he'd been reading Prabhupada's books. So the song was just, I, me, mine, everywhere is I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. Very simple. And so Shyamasundar Prabhu in his book, when he had met George a few times, and then he called him up and said, come down into the studio to meet the rest of the band. So he found them, and they were recording that song. And the other Beatles were saying, this is a stupid song, you know. And then later they discussed with Shyamasundar, and one of them asked, you know, what is that song? And then he explained it, and they said, yeah, that's good. That's right. Everyone is just thinking, I'm this body, this is mine, my country, my wife, my body, my clothes, my car. Even they think the clothes are me, the body, you know, they don't even think of the body practically. The car is me. I am, you know, BMW, or I'm whatever they are. So, the false ego includes, therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya, atheistic philosophy. They are original offshoots from Krishna's energies and are separated from him, but atheistic Sankhya philosophers with a poor fund of knowledge do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of the external energy of Krishna, as is described in the Bhagavad Gita. And they're generally trying to find the source. And then that's why they have this saying, neti, neti. They find something, they examine it, this is not it, neti, neti, this isn't it, this isn't it. I haven't heard much about it lately. It was a big thing in the news a few years ago that they used to call it, when I was young, an atom smasher. I think they changed it to particle accelerator or something. It was in Switzerland. Billions of dollars. It cost like 40 million euros or something to run it for a short time. And then supposedly they're going to break an atom into such small pieces, they'll find the origin, the original particle. So they called it the God particle. They're going to find God. But they don't really see anything. They just see some streaks of light and then they speculate what it was. And I read somewhere the scientists, first they were calling it the goddamn particle. But that didn't sound very good, so they just said the God particle. I don't know, they had so many big scientists, analyzing all the data, couldn't find out anything. And their conclusion was they had to build a bigger machine. I don't know if they did, I hope not, but they're very good at wasting money like that. And bigger telescopes to think they'll find the original Big Bang. When Krishna enters the universe, the Mahatattva, as a time factor, it's something like the Big Bang. Everything starts happening, but it's all under control. It's not an explosion. Explosions are destructive, right? We see on the news that the bombing somewhere, it's destructive. I just read something from Ukraine. The GBC of Ukraine's offering, and it's quite amazing. He's saying how the devotees have become much stronger, they're much more relishing, they're chanting, much more serious reading, and they're doing all this food for life, and the Kiev temple is almost exactly back to what it was before the war. All the programs, some of their online classes never stopped. But 2 temples are totally destroyed. Many devotees' homes are completely destroyed. Or the mother and children could leave the country, but the men couldn't. So, but they become more and more enlivened. So it's, amazing, but hardship, brings people together. Forced tapasya. So anyway, this is material energy, but Krishna is beyond it. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, the first verse in this chapter, by practicing this yoga, you can know me in full, free from doubt. It's a very big problem. You can know me. He uses a me, I, and aham once in a while in the first 6 chapters, but not so much and not in such a way like that directly. But in the 7th chapter, he's just saying me, 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 I am everything. I am the goal. The 8th chapter, the 9th chapter, 10th chapter, very strongly, just stressing bhakti. The bhakti is always there, but not everybody will catch it. Devotees will catch it. And Krishna is a magician, so magicians, they can make something invisible, make you think it's invisible. They can make themselves disappear, make you disappear. They can make you see something that's not there, right? By hypnotism. So Krishna is a Yogeshwar. So these people that don't want service, that are averse, they can read the Bhagavad Gita and never think and say it's not Krishna. Even though the picture of Krishna is on the cover. And Arjuna says Krishna, but Vyasadeva, when he says Uvacha, he never says Krishna. He always says Bhagavan. Because that's meant to show that Krishna is Bhagavan. Because anybody with any kind of brain, and so many simple people, it's the big puffed up scholars that they become blinded. Krishna hides from them. But simple people, like that illiterate Brahmin in South India, he knew it was Krishna. And he understood it. But he was illiterate. And Lord Chaitanya picked him up and hugged him and told him, you are the real knower of the Bhagavad Gita. It's like that. One time I was distributing books in America, and I met one puffed up doctor. But somehow he took the time to talk to me. I don't think he took a book. He was a gynecologist, women doctor. And he said, I give life. Because he delivers babies. Like they weren't alive until he pulled them out. And he told me there's no soul. I've cut open so many bodies and I've never seen one. There's no such thing as a soul, So, and then I met almost next, very soon, one farm girl, and I said, what's the difference between a dead body and a living body? She said, well, the soul's gone, like, no, it's so simple, people are, all right, confirmed. But there is a soul and nobody can see it. It's smaller than the smallest. And the super soul is within the soul. And the soul is subtle, so there's so many small things we can't see. Microscopic things. You have to have a microscope. And there's so many things too big we can't see. Too close you can't see. Too far we can't see. So how can we think, show me God? Because they can see God. Somebody asked a question the other day in one class, not here, but was, it says if you've seen Krishna, then, you'll never care about anything else again. So what about so many demons, and they saw Krishna, but they didn't love Krishna. So they didn't really see Krishna, they saw the shape and form of Krishna. But they didn't see. When Krishna went in the wrestling arena, there's a long list of how all kinds of different people saw him. Some saw the super soul, some saw great yogi. The fool saw a fool. You know, the gopis saw Krishna, the lover. The older Brijvasis saw, you know, a boy of the village. But very, very few people really understood Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin of everything. Even though they were living with him and seeing him constantly, they don't really see Krishna, you know. And in the Bhagavad Gita, that's why Krishna talks about all different kinds of yoga and so many things, because there's many different kinds of people. They want to know these things. If Krishna, Prabhupada said, if he would have just said right at the beginning, Sarva Dharma Parityajya, then so many people would just throw it away right there. So he builds them up to it with all the talk about it. And we have to know about these Vishnus. We have to know about the material elements. We have to know how we're entangled, how the modes of nature are working, how the dualities are controlling us, so we can get out. If people don't know they're lost, then they won't try to find their way out. So the material world is such an expert prison, we don't know we're in prison. We think it's nice. We think it's a holiday. But some realize, and then how to get out, Krishna is always there to help us. Just read Bhagavad Gita. So it's late. Thank you very much for the Harinam. Even though the people don't pay any attention, the vibration does enter their consciousness. And some people, you know, they're in a hurry, especially that time of day. That's always like the toughest time. Right? People are just getting off work. Or the day, you know, things are going to close, it's time to party, they don't know what they're going to do. You know, they're worn out, and they're in a hurry to get somewhere. Many people I know in Japan, first word I learned in Japan on book tradition was 2 words. One was isogashi. Isoideimasu. What does that mean?
I'm on a hurry.
Yeah. Jikanganai.
I have no time.
Yeah. That's what everybody said. So I when I found out what it meant, I said, I'm in a hurry too, hurry up and give a donation. You know, I don't have much time. And it worked. I had to run with them though. I mean, that's why I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to run, like right a lot ahead of them a little bit, even running backwards. Now I just fall over if I try to do that, because they move really fast. Like here, most people are moving really fast. But if you ask them, where are you going? I'm in a hurry, where are you going? Well, I don't know. Right? I'm in a hurry to get there. So, he's a real nowhere man, the Beatles. He's a real nowhere man, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Trying to dress up his body to impress people who never look at him or don't care. Or might just become envious if you have really good clothes. Worshipping their feet, buying new shoes all the time. So we are trying to help them, and it's compassion of the devotees to go out. But we get especially purified when we chant like that publicly. It's pleasing to the Lord to putting that vibration out in these places. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Bhumirapo nalo vayu ki jai. We need them. We can't live. We have to utilize them properly though. So, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. That's what all bodies are made out of, in different combinations. Right? Whatever kind of body it is, whatever kind of material element. It's just a combination of those things. Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. If anybody else.